What is an FBAR and who needs to file it? We're going to talk about the important details about how to report your foreign bank accounts as a U.S. person in this video. I'm Andrew Henderson, and there's a lot of confusion around the FBAR. This is how U.S. citizens, U.S. persons, report their foreign bank accounts. Now, as you may know, if you're a U.S. citizen or you have a green card, you are responsible, no matter where you live, to report all of your foreign bank accounts. And there are some misconceptions around this that I want to get into, but the most important thing is to understand that there's really no escaping this obligation. The only way to really escape this obligation is to give up your U.S. taxpayer status. That means if you're a citizen, you renounce your citizenship. If you're a green card holder, you relinquish your green card. There's one other type of person who actually has to file this report. We have a video on this, which is anyone who spends too much time in the U.S., even as a tourist. Watch our video on the substantial presence test to make sure that's not you. But for the most part, this is a U.S. citizen and U.S. green card holder issue. So what is FBAR? Obviously, this video is not tax advice. You should always consult with someone, whether it's at nomadcapitalist.com or a professional of your choice. But the bottom line is, if you have bank accounts overseas that have an aggregate value of $10,000 or more at any time during a calendar year, you need to file this report. People get confused and they think, oh, well, none of my accounts has $10,000, so therefore I don't have to file. Now, if you have one account with $9,999 and one account with $1, you've got to report, and you've got to report all of them, not just the big ones. If you have the account in your own name, obviously that has to be reported. If you have an interest in the account, like this is a nominee account, it's someone else's name, generally a bad idea anyway, but if that's your situation, that has to be reported because it's really your money. If you have signature authority, even if it's not your money, you have to sign. So there's an issue with people who are involved with companies, for example, you may have to report that. So again, not tax advice, make sure you get advice for your particular situation, but I want to make you aware of really the scope of this because it's not something you want to mess around with. So basically all the foreign bank accounts, and it's somewhat debatable, some of the things that could be accounts. People will report their PayPal accounts. They'll report different accounts. Again, consult an advisor. $10,000 or more, even if it's for like a minute. Okay, people think, oh, well, it was just open for a day. I was moving some money through. It's still reportable. Okay, so when in doubt, you should report it. Now, what's interesting about the FBAR is that it's actually not part of the Internal Revenue Code per se. It's actually part of the Bank Secrecy Act. And so it's a separate thing. You don't just send it in with your tax return. So before 2013, you had to mail it in, and it had to be received by the due date. It was June 30th. And if it wasn't received by then, it was late. So as opposed to your tax return, which has to be postmarked by the date, it had to be received. In 2013, they said, you know what, we don't want you to mail it anymore. Yes, there are some other forms you need to file with your tax return to evidence your bank accounts. But for the FBAR itself, it has to be done electronically. And then eventually they said, okay, well, you know what? It's not due June 30th anymore. We're going to bring it in line with your tax return. So it's now due April 15th, but you can get an extension 6 months to October 15th. So there's been a lot of changes, and people who are just reading information online may be confused, and they may think, hey, I can mail it in. No. Or, hey, it's June 30th. Not necessarily. So make sure that you get the deadline straight, make sure that you're filing on time, make sure that you're doing it electronically, and make sure that you get your confirmation that, hey, you did indeed file it. Okay. But the biggest thing to really focus on is making sure that you understand this is a separate issue from tax, and the penalties are very severe. This is a supplement to your tax return. And again, there's so many different forms and schedules for being a U.S. person that you have to file. So that's why I always recommend having an expat-friendly U.S. tax preparer. If you go to your U.S. accountant who's sitting in Sheboygan, they're probably not going to know how to handle this properly. For the kind of people that I work with, it's relatively straightforward. You complete the report, you submit it online, you file your tax return with any other necessary forms that support your expat or international lifestyle, and you go from there. But again, Don't mess around. Make sure that no matter what accounts you have, you are reporting them because the penalties are severe.
I'm Andrew Henderson, and if you're looking for a way to legally reduce your taxes, build your freedom, and create wealth faster as a global citizen, then you've come to the right place. I want you to do 3 things right now. Number 1, click the button to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to get notifications so you never miss a new video. Number 2, get a copy of our #1 best-selling book, Nomad Capitalist, on Amazon and learn all the dozens of benefits of our lifestyle. And number 3, if you're already a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur and you want to put these strategies in place, go to nomadcapitalist.com and find out how to get some help.